Mike, I bet it was a nice change having a nice trip back, wasn't it?
Yeah. You look at it, the way we played as well was pleasing. And I thought it was a good performance. Could have made him more comfortable by being more clinical, but it was a good 3 points.
I mean, it sounds obvious, but I saw the highlights. The pitch was really good. I mean, does that, is it too obvious to say you played really well because the pitch is really good? You found another pitch is really good.
Without going on too much about it, yes, but you think about that's the first away game Josh Sheehan's played since Boxing Day. It's been that long. He missed the Harrogate and the Oldham one, and then the Port Vale one was called off. And it's the first time we've had the four back from their red cards at the same time as well. So there are other factors. I'm not just going to go on about the pitch, even though we all know that it isn't helping things.
And they're four, in their own way, experienced campaigners, aren't they? Does that make a difference, do you think?
Of course it does. They're four important players for us. You look at it, all four of them have played the majority of the games this season.
So was that, I suppose that's the first time you've been able to field that sort of team for what? Month and a half, maybe 2 months?
Yeah, since obviously the first red card. It's one of those things, you know what I mean? I'm not saying they wasn't red cards. They were quite soft ones, but we give the referee a chance to give them. There has been worse things happening and gone unpunished, but it is what it is. We've got to get on with it. It's done now, and it's about how we move forward.
Do you think your players have learned from the red cards, Mike? I mean, we've talked before, you don't want to take that edge off them. Someone like Josh Labadie thrives on the competitive nature, doesn't he? Scott Bennett to a similar extent. Do you think they've learned from them?
I think they have. I'm not sure how much they can really take from them because they've gone in honestly. They've not gone in to hurt anybody. I think maybe just slightly mistimed. That's their downfall on the 3 tackles. You know what I mean? But you've got to be careful when you go to the ground these days. You've got to be careful. But there needs to be consistency because we've just had a report back off the MOAS where one of the Southend players kicked out the Matty Dolan off the ball, and they've said they agree it's a yellow. But then Josh Labadie, who hardly done anything, was they were deemed convinced it was a red card. Now, look, it's that's the frustration. There is no consistency.
Sorry, what is MOAS?
Oh, it's the report you put in on the referees afterwards, and then they get back to you.
Right.
But it's not. When is this inconsistent? Then it's not really. My personal thing is it's not really something I'm going to waste too much time on.
No. But with your pitch, does that make tackling? We talk about, crosses into the box being difficult in some areas of the pitch. Does it make tackling? Do you have to get the tackles absolutely spot on now with that pitch, or can it lead to a problem?
Well, it's going to lead to a few problems. Anybody haven't been seriously injured lately on it? I don't know. And this is nothing to do with the ground staff or the staff who work tirelessly to get it even in a playable state or half playable state. They work their socks off, and I'm not having a dig at them one bit, and I never will, because I've seen how hard they work. The likes of John Raymond and Mark Jones, how much organisation and planning he tries, he puts into things. So this is not a slight on them at all, but the pitch it is the worst I've ever seen it. And, you know, I don't want this to be about the pitch, if I'm honest, because it is what it is. I've said what I've had to say in the past on it. So look, it is what it is. We cannot change it. So we need to get it out of our systems and carry on and try and win games, albeit they're going to be not as pretty as we, you know, have become used to.
Yeah, because people say it's the same for both sides, which it is. Trouble is, you play 23 league games on it. The other sides play once.
Exactly. They've only got to alter their game or, you know, play to their strengths once a year on there. You know, and let's be honest, if you play before the end of September on there, you're happy because it's like a bowling green. You know, it's yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. But hopefully Wednesday now can be the springboard to a concerted run. That's what you need now, don't you? You need that consistency back that you had before the winter in some ways.
Yeah, we do. And look, you know, everybody going on, Southend game we should have won. The Grimsby game, look, I thought we were fortunate to win it. You know, I'm trying to be consistent here. I thought we were fortunate to win it. We were down to 10 men. We dug in, got a poacher's goal. Extra the game, we pushed and pushed and pushed. We had over 31 shots. We had 31 shots, but we only hit the target 7 times. And it is so hard to create anything clear-cut. And then the Forest Green game, again, I thought we were the better team outside the 2 boxes. 2 mistakes, they win the game. It's not like we're getting played off the park or, you know, it's been a mixture of a few things. Not taking our chances, lack of creativity, individual errors, and you know we need to cut them out and improve in the both areas. And if we do that, then we're going to be a match for anybody.
And you're still right in there.
Oh, of course, you know it's crazy. You know we're all disappointed that we're in the playoffs, in the playoff spot. Shows how far we've come, doesn't it?
What about Stevenage then? Lenny Lawrence no longer there now, of course, but they're all right down the road, aren't they? Drew, I think they've only lost one of the last 5 or conceded in 1 game in the last 5 on the road, and 3 draws in that as well. Yeah,
they picked up. They've you know they were tough to beat when we beat them at their place. If I'm honest. You know, they're organised, like to put balls in the box. They got some really good players. It's going to be a tough game. Like I said, they have improved. And, you know, I know Alex Ravel. I think he's done a good job in challenging circumstances. But hopefully we can just inflict a little bit more pain on him tomorrow. And then after that, I hope he does well.
Any injury worries from Wednesday, Mike? Or
possibly?
Okay? Sorry?
Possibly.
Okay. Last one for me then. The goalkeeping spot, because we're talking to Nick Townsend coming up. You're in a great position having 2 keepers like this. You've sort of, you know, King has had his run. Back to Nick Townsend again. What are your thoughts on it?
There is healthy competition between the 2 of them. Look, you know, I've spoken to Tom, I've spoken to Nick, and Tom's knocking on the door, and Nick has got to keep playing as well as he can to keep the spot is. And if Tom gets in, it's the same for him. He needs to play at the top of his game, otherwise Nick's you know, tugging at his shirt to be the number 1. So it's healthy competition. And it is what it is at the minute. Nick is in goals, and you know, I'm going to say hopefully that continues. But I mean, in the respect that he's playing really well and we're keeping clean sheets. You know, that's not that I prefer him as a person over Tom or anything like that. It's just look, you want to keep clean sheets, and I'll be honest, I don't care which one of them are in goals as long as we're doing that.
Have a good one. See you there tomorrow.
Cheers, Rob. Thanks,
Got
mate.
the joy tomorrow. Cheers.
Mike, Alex Rebel, he made some comments about the challenges of the schedule. He's been sort of rotating a bit. It is even more than usual. It's a challenging one for managers, isn't it? Because you want to be game at a time, but at the same time, you've got to manage workload.
Of course you have, and obviously we got one less day rest this week due to the Wednesday game, sorry. And then we got a really tough week next week. We got away to Tranmere on the Tuesday, and then away to Colchester on the Saturday. It's it's a real long slog, especially playing on a heavy pitch on the Saturday at home as well. So we've got to manage it and speak to the players and do what we feel is best, not just for the team selection, but in making sure any players don't break down.
Has that changed your sort of thinking? Have you, rather than just looking, right, what do we need to beat Stevenage? Do you have to have a bit of an eye on Tranmere, or can you not afford to do that?
No, I'll be honest. I'll try and get the 3 points, and then I'll worry about Tranmere. There's no way you can take your foot off the gas looking at it, because it will slap you, firmly in the face if you start getting complacent and, I'm going to say, arrogant, and that's one thing I'll never do.
One player who's you've mentioned in the past about the Tuesday Saturday schedule sort of hitting is Matthew Dolan. He was obviously back to nice grass on at Walsall, but he back in defence and he was influential. How do you sort of have to weigh up using him with both the pitch and the schedule?
Find out tomorrow, won't you, Chris?
But he has had to be adaptable himself, because he's been used in midfield again recently. Rodney Parade, well, and
It's just gone on time, Dave.
Yeah.
2 seconds.
That's
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you still. It's just the background has gone. I can see your Extractor fan. That's all.
It's Callum's dodgy computer. He's just got off Del Boy in the car park. Sorry, Chris. Where were we?
Matty's had to be adaptable as well, because he's pushed forward a bit into holding midfield role. Was that mainly down to the absences of Scott and Joss?
Yeah, it was. It was down to that, and also it was his knowledge of how bad the pitch is. He knows how to play it. He's been here a long time, and that was one of the reasons as well.
Mentioned shots as well, and sort of struggling for creativity. We obviously saw Southend score a ridiculous goal on Wednesday night. Is that something you're saying at the start of the season when Scott Twine was maybe having a dig, buying a ticket and all that? Although I wouldn't have said that after Aaron Lewis shot from 45 yards against Forest Green. But is that something you're asking more of your players? Just have a dig.
Chris, I don't care if it hits him on the back of the head and goes in, or on the backside. Look, I just want him in the right place at the right time. I want him to be ruthless, whether that's from 1 yard or 30 yards. You look at it, the 4 games previously on the pitch, there's only been 11 shots on target from the 4 opposition teams, put together. And we've had 13. So that tells you that it is very hard to create anything clear-cut on that pitch. So, I know you all like your stats. There's a stat for you. 4 teams have played on that pitch and only hit the target 11 times. So, it is what it is. But we just need to. When we get the chances, we need to put them away. And I've spoken to 1 or 2 of them, and they know that they've had good chances, and we haven't done that.
We're obviously concentrating on the top end of the table, but it's tight throughout, isn't it? With teams at the bottom. So I guess that's the danger. Stevenage are looking over their shoulder, but then they're not ridiculously far away from anyone either. It's just a mad table. So but they will be wary of the teams beneath them as well. So they'll be coming here. Well, certainly motivated, won't they?
They'll be fighting for their lives. But I'll be honest, I'm not interested what their concerns are, or whether they're looking over their shoulder down, or whether they're trying to get up there. I really couldn't give a monkeys, if I'm honest. It's not. I'm concentrating on us. And likewise, nobody would give us a second thought if we were down the bottom, struggling. It'd be is let's put some misery on Newport and keep them down there. That's we've faced that. We faced that when I first took over. When Notts County were running around the pitch saying let's relegate them. People don't want to come to Rodney Parade when it's like it is. So that goes out of my head. I'm not feeling sorry for any other club. I just want us to do well, and then we'll worry about it afterwards.
Finally, for me, I'm not speaking necessarily about the pitch because I've been there, done that. But with the experienced players, they're key to being more adaptable, aren't they? In the style you will be playing on. As you said, we might have done that knowledge of what to do when.
I hope so. Otherwise, we're in trouble. It is what it is. You've seen Forest Green's comments. I spoke. What Mark Cooper said after the game. He gave us a lot of compliments, and I spoke to him afterwards. And their game plan was, and this part surprised me because they are a very, very good footballing team, and Mark's done a very good job there. But their team talk was, do not attempt to play any football whatsoever. And where it surprised me was when it was on to play, they still didn't. And that's where they'd done a fantastic job in that respect because they all just stuck to it. They hit Jammer and fed off scraps off him, and it worked for them because we made the mistakes and they didn't. So it goes to show that even the best teams in the league are understanding what they need to do on it.
Good stuff. Cheers. See you tomorrow.
Have you not heard of photosynthesis?
Go on.
Well, the sun is shining. There's water in the ground. The grass will grow. I mean, I can't believe you're bleating like this, Flynn.
Yeah.
There's going to be green all over that pitch tomorrow.
It's also still 1 degree, which is going to help grow.
Yeah, you talked a few weeks ago.
I got more chance of my hairline growing, and that ain't happening.
Yeah, well, there is. Yeah, I'm there with you. I tell you. All right. Well, we'll see how it is. But at least they haven't played on it for a week. No,
listen, and like I said, the ground staff will work their socks off and give everything to get it as best as they can get it. It is what it is. Like I said, I know we have spoken about it. I don't want to speak about it today, but I'm getting asked the questions. I'm trying to give you an honest answer without just saying, "Oh no pitch questions." We've never really done that with each other, so.
I think Mark Cooper said it all, really, didn't he? Mark Cooper said it all, and that's all. And the interesting thing is how sorry people feel for you because of the way you were playing. You don't want to call sympathy, I know, but
take it as a backhanded compliment. But it's easy to feel sorry for us when they just come and nick the points.
Are they going to relay it in the summer?
The answer to that is I don't know how much I can tell you. I'm being straight with you, but let's just say I'm hoping so.
But they were due to do it.
Chris might know. Ask Chris. He's on in the interview. He might have a little bit of inside knowledge.
Weren't they due to do it this summer anyway? Last summer anyway? Isn't the pitch out of date now?
Yeah, it was due to be done last summer. Look, I'm pretty confident that it will be relayed, but I can't confirm that. You know what I mean? Because I don't really know.
Depends how much money the WIU have lost or how much money they've got.
I haven't got a clue what it depends on, but it's either that or we might as well dig it up.
Yeah. The win was great, but some of the other results were fantastic. On Wednesday night.
Again, you know what I'm going to say, Rob? We can only concentrate on ourselves. It's as simple as that. Because if we don't take care of business, it doesn't matter what anybody else does. We we want to try and put a couple of wins on, on the bounce together. It's not going to be easy. It all gets interesting now. People fighting for their lives. Then their bottom teams coming into a form. You've got the Boltons, the Bradfords, the Tranmeres. So to be honest, I always thought Tranmere would be up there anyway. But you got the Boltons, the Bradfords, the Tranmeres, the big clubs now who have spent a few quid. Salfords, it's going to be a tough league, but it is a very, very unprecedented league because everybody thought the world had ended when Southend beat us, and then they go away and beat Forest Green. So let's not get above our station and think that we're better than what we are, or think other clubs are not worthy to be on the same pitch as Newport County AFC, because believe me, that's when you come unstuck.
Yeah. What was it, 9 points between 10 teams?
Yeah.
I think at the top. It's incredible. And Carlisle, they got 5 games in hand on Cambridge.
Crazy.
And you've got a couple too. Yeah, it is crazy.
Yeah, we've just got to keep winning. Or trying to.
Yeah. I see you've got 4 away games in 5 now as well after this weekend, haven't you?
Yeah. The pleasing thing, though, we get that week out of the way, or 10 days, whatever it is, and it's only 5 left. So 5 away games. We've got a points tally of what we need, or what we want away from home, and it's doable. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. Can I ask you once again? I'm going to write a bit about it this weekend, so I just want to freshen up. Priestley's 5 games now. I mean, he's come in and done a great job for you.
A very good job. Very good job. He's had to play a couple out of position, and I think you'll get to see him the longer it goes on, and the more he plays in that position, he'll get better and better. He's learning how we want him to play in that role. And you know what? For the first time he played there the other day, I thought he done very well there.
Yeah.
I mean, in the way we want him to play.
Yeah. And he looks so comfortable.
He's got all the attributes. Got a lot to learn in certain areas, but he's got the right attitude as well. You only got to tell him once, maximum twice, and he is taken on board. He's football intelligent, and that's pleasing to see. Yeah.
And can you just remind me, how long have you been looking at him?
Been looking at him, I've been aware of him for about 18 months now, but properly, I've been looking at him, carefully for it's coming up to a year. It's strange maybe, but yeah, it's probably about a year.
And so, as you said, when Andy Morrison said you're taking him now, Flynn, you couldn't say no.
I'm not arguing with a big man. Andy's done a very good job with him as well. He's definitely made sure he's instilled the respect, etc., into him, which I know he would. So Andy needs. Well, he doesn't need, but Andy deserves a lot of credit for the work he's done with Priestley as well.
And not keeping him down, because he's lost one of his star players now, but he's keen to see him go on, which is what all managers at that level should be doing. Yeah.
It's obviously it's got to be right for the clubs as well. But nobody wants to stand in somebody's way. I think it's a lot harder to do that really these days, because the players get a sniff of it through all different areas, and their agents and friends of an agent, the next door neighbours. Any way somebody wants to get a message to somebody these days, they'll get it. And once a player is aware of bigger interest, 9 times out of 10, they tend to do all they can to get there.
So who else are you tracking at the moment?
Can't tell you.
Okay, well, are you tracking some non-league players then?
Possibly.
Right, possibly. Okay. Yeah. And what sort of scouting? Yeah, what sort of scouting system do you have? Do you just have some trusted allies, or?
Yeah, I've got somebody I trust a lot. My agent helps me do a lot. I've got people who do look around the Welsh League for me. I've got assistant Wayne, Danny Elliott looks after the younger ages. We might be a little bit ragged Rovers in some respect, but we do make sure we try and cover as much as we can. And we also got somebody who's doing a lot of work for us, as in match reports up north, free of charge, which is amazing, to be honest. He's put some miles in for us, and fair play to him.
Yeah, because it's, you've got such a great reputation of taking loan players and helping them to develop. But if you can now show another avenue for players coming from lower leagues to come through, you might get even more people knocking on your door.
Well, look, we want to broaden the pool that we fish in, so to speak. And it doesn't always have to be upwards. There are some very good players in non-league. There's a reason why they're in there. Some haven't had a break. Some haven't really got the mentality to be a professional, as we've seen in one or two that we've tried here. But there are players with a lot of ability there. The only problem is some of the clubs are paying more than we are. More than a lot of the league do, actually. So not pleading poverty there. Some of them are earning more money in the league below than they would in 80% of the teams in this league.
Yeah. Interesting. Great.